All right, yo, what's going on, everybody? Hold on. Fuck. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Out the Pit podcast. I am your host, Out the Pit, aka Sackcloth. I got a couple of homies with me today, and we're here reviewing. We're here to discuss things spiritual, religious, heaven, God, everything, all that type of talk right there. So I got a couple homies with me today. One you know, one you might know. And we're gonna get it in. I'm gonna bring them in and then kind of introduce them, let them introduce themselves and all that, you know what I'm saying? So let's bring them in. Let's bring them in. So up here at the top, I got my homie from Ohio, correct? And he go by the name Major. And then on the bottom, I got my brother Bam Bam, straight out of Florida with me. You feel me? Y'all done seen him before on several things that I do. And I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, man. Major.
What's happening, family? What's happening, family? This is Major, man, from Chicago. You know what I mean? I'm honored to be here with my two brothers today, so we can chop it up about this Jesus conversation and this NLE Chopper and Kirk Franklin interview, man. Let's do it, man. I got my point of view, my perspective. I study from both sides of the angle, and then all three of us had these type of conversations all the time, so it's just perfect for us to be here.
Yes, sir. Bam.
Yo, yo, yo. Your boy Bam Bam in the building. Some of y'all already know it. If you don't know, stick around and you'll find out. Yeah. You already know me and Out the Pit got a podcast that we already do together. And we also on part of the Frackers squad every Sunday at 12 p.m. And yeah, we finna get into to a pretty deep conversation in my opinion. So here we go.
Yeah. All right.
Grab your popcorn, grab your Takis.
All right. And so basically, like Major said, we're gonna be discussing this NLE Chopper versus, I'm gonna say versus, because they was kind of going, it kind of got, I don't want to say it got heated, you feel what I'm saying, but the energy definitely got high in the room. It was a NLE Chopper, like I say, versus Johnathon Majors, and they were on Kirk Franklin's podcast. I think it's called The Den of Kings and all that. So, conversation was going, it was actually, and to be honest, as my initial thoughts when I, looking at the clip and, kind of had before having to get my opinion, my feelings out the way, you feel me? It was actually a pretty good conversation. And that was kind of the least of the interview, to be honest with you. It really, I think they really was talking about what mental health for men, you know what I mean? Like, it was based off mental health, I believe, mental sickness, mental health for men, and that type of talk. And then, of course, when you go down that road, shit grows. You feel me? Like the conversation start to transform and take on a new creation, I guess, if you want to say. So that being said, we finna watch this clip, and I didn't want to just get the clip that we see on TikTok that's like 30 seconds to a minute long, because as I watch I'm a person who like to get the context of things, but as I watched the full interview, I was like, okay, this I started feeling different about it. You get what I'm saying? I started understanding why the energy was directed at Jit like that. You feel what I'm saying? And after the fact, I did come across a clip of NLE Chopper saying he felt like it might have been some more reasons that Johnathon Majors, like why he said that to him, why he treated him like that. And it was something that I probably I'm gonna add that in later, but it kind of might have gave a little bit context on NLE perspective on why he came. You know what I'm saying? He had that type of that energy for him. You feel what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So this clip is about six to 7 minutes long, And I did that so we could get context, you know, a little bit of context of what's going on and what's being said. You feel me? Brother, we ain't just, you know, doing like everybody else and, you know, which was easy to do just for the clicks. Yeah, it's gonna bring in some views, but you know, it's about a little bit more than that over here. You feel me? Of course, we all want the views, but at the same time, sometimes things are more important. You feel me? Getting to the bottom of things are more important, in my opinion. And then, you know, deal with the content, the views will come. You feel what I'm saying? So y'all ready? Y'all ready? Major, you ready? All right, here we go.
Yep, let's roll.
All right. Y'all gotta excuse us. We got a bit of a delay. Of course, we in two different states right now. So, you know, just give us, you know, bear with us, dog. Bear with us, man.
That kid, so, and I'm 42 now, so package it and frame it.
Yes, sir.
That is, they're so crushing that me and him was talking earlier, and I related because what he went through, it's like this, Kirk, you know this. There's something, man, the agony behind dealing with a private matter in a public arena.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is crushing, that this should stay private, but now it's public. You could have called me, and now you had to make that post about, yo, Kev, and I think for us as black men, to what you're saying, Jay, is we can't package it and frame it in this manner because, man, life is so nuanced.
It is nuanced.
And
yes,
man,
it is.
you get into a place.
Yes.
And we were talking, because I went through what he went through in 2018 with the young lady I was dating. And I watched people get on social media, and I'm like, it's not true, but I couldn't say anything. And I'm saying, God, where are you now? Right? It was like a Job moment, because you're like, why is this happening to me?
But my thing is I said to roll these back to two, all of these obstacles is for you to strengthen the relationship. That's all I'm saying. So if it's a misunderstanding there, I'm not saying, hold on 1 second. I'm not saying
you're okay.
Yeah, man, I'm over good. I know it's no rule. I'm not saying it's a set rule on how to be this or how to be that, because one thing me and Kirk is a firm believer of is no man of perfection. It's only a man of progress. Right. My thing is the things that I went through, same thing you went through, same thing you went through, same thing you going through, same thing you go through, same thing. No matter what age or none of that shit. It's all built to create the foundation of your relationship with the Most High. That's why I said the road leads back to two.
And I think what Jonathan is saying is that in that moment, you can't discern or decipher that.
But
right, it will lead.
In that moment, you can't.
No.
But if you keep
I want to say something real quick. I want to say something real quick.
Make that connection.
I think I'm a church kid, so, and I'm 42 now. So, and I'm a church kid in the sense of like, there was nothing else.
Yes, sir.
It is just Jesus. There's no medicine. There's no therapy. There's no divorce. Somehow, if your husband's beating you, God's gonna, like, everything is God's gonna do it. God's got a plan. Right, that's all you.
That's
have.
what you're dealing with at the table, NLE.
Yeah.
See,
no.
In NLE's defense, let me just say this.
But I'm not religious. I'm not Christian. I'm not none of these things. I just believe in God. I go straight to source.
Right. But here's what I want to say.
I get what you're saying. I get how what I'm saying could be.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm just speaking from my experience, not even directly to what you said or what you meant.
No, I receive.
But what John and Jay was saying, it's like, when I was young, that made sense, right?
What made sense?
What you're saying. God, somehow, this is going to make sense because God's going to make sense. God has a plan. And that was true for me when I was young, right? When I got older and when my brother died, and as a child, it's just, well, God kind of called him home. God had a better plan for him. No man understands God's thing. When I was a kid in that, with somebody else's grandma, somebody else's brother, that was cool. And I'm even telling them that. Yeah, don't worry about it. God's got you. Jesus is here. Jesus, just pray. Jesus died for this. All of a sudden, after 40 years of saying that stuff, and I'm not saying you don't believe it, because I believe it too. Oh yeah, God's got you, brother Key. I'm praying for you, right? And I'm hearing that until it was me. And then you're looking at God like, where?
But did he have you? Did he? My thing is,
here's the
hold
thing.
up, did God have you though? Did he not?
I don't believe he did. That's my truth.
You said you didn't know then, or you still don't know now?
Still now.
You don't
and
know
also in the Bible, people in the Bible were like, Jesus was like, I don't understand what is happening.
It's not meant for you to understand.
Right, but this is what I'm saying though. Hear what I'm saying. In that moment, when my brother, right, and we talking about the celebrity, fame, and all this type of stuff, and I'm sure we all know this, that your circle of like actual trust people that you know, if everything about you that everybody loves was gone, the amount of people who will be like, hey brother, you Uber, I don't care, come by the house, we're playing Uno. That amount of people that you really actually trust is usually less than 5 people, maybe 2 or 3 people.
1000%.
Right? For me, one of those 2 people is gone.
1000%.
So now it's like, and then you have people at the church, at the funeral, oh brother, God's got you. Okay, I hear y'all, okay? But that person is gone.
Do you know what we're talking about? Let me
Spiritual bypass.
No. Is he gone though? Is that person really gone?
That
energy
is dead.
If energy never died,
No.
Let me tell you what's happening, Kim. Let me tell you what you're dealing with at the table. I'm gonna share something with you.
I'm dealing with the same thing.
What? No. And
I'm dealing. And
I respect you.
I deal with.
And I know that you are.
I deal with the way. I deal with people dying in the most violent way, and I gotta go to their funerals, pay for the motherfuckers, and they mama had to cry on my shoulder.
I'm not discounting that.
I'm not discounting either, but I'm saying.
Well, no. First of all, I am very grateful that the space for conversation is just happening.
Me too, brother.
They was having a chance to talk. Yeah.
No, this is actually a conversation.
Yes.
All right. Damn. And of course, that's the wrong fucking clip. Of course, that's the wrong damn clip right there. But damn, I wanted to do that one too, but shit. Hold on. I don't fuck up. I don't send it to someone. But what y'all think about that?
Man, I just think like NLE Chopper, like he kind of like I feel like they talking from 2 different levels of experience when it comes to God and all of that. Like, and I think it was kind of like a little miscommunication with what
Man, I wish I could hear him.
I still can't hear him.
Oh, he talking. Go ahead, Major.
I feel like they had like probably like a slight and it's like when I watched the whole video, I feel like NLE Chopper was talking about that direct communication, that direct contact, right? Something what me, you, and Bam discussed as far as even when we not even being religious or none of that, we still had that some kind of way we was taken care of and being guided directly, kind of relationship. And they was talking about like that, because I heard him say, what you think about when prayers, when you pray so much and then you feel like they ain't being answered. So that still like reflect that vague relationship back when we first started, like in Christianity and all that. And you just praying to this Jesus or somebody who you don't see, and you just kind of this man on the cloud. That was kind of like something that we all came out of. But I think that's to that more direct contact. So I think that's what they kind of like was miscommunicating when he was trying to tell them he's coming from a different place, kind of like the space that we in individually, like the things that we talk about, this personal, this connection with that was with us all our years, even when we was in the streets, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they talking about like just back when the religious experiences, when it was just like I'm praying, and sometimes it felt like he wasn't answering, because in this space we pray different. But when you was in religion, it was more vague, like, you know, gambling. You sending something out there hoping, you know what I'm saying, it you score. You shooting the ball up hoping you score. But in this space, it's more direct contact. Like, and I think that was a little miscommunication, as far as like when they was responding to him, they wasn't really coming from the same. When he talking about God and everything he kept saying, that they wasn't in the same space. And so I think that needed to be communicated for them to even understand where the communication was lost. That just like what I got from that little part.
Got you. Hold on. But like I say, Ben, was you able to hear it?
I heard the video, but
Okay. So what's your
yeah,
thoughts on that?
I couldn't hear Major's thoughts, but I definitely heard the video.
Yeah. Okay. So what was your thoughts on the video?
Well, I like you said, I guess if we're going off of that clip, I guess I can kind of see why maybe they had that energy towards him later on, like we were saying,
Yeah.
because he did seem to there was a couple of times watching, I was like, okay, he kind of need to be a little quiet. Like he
Yeah.
keep jumping in too much. He
Yeah.
and it seemed like he was like
Trying to one up.
trying to one up a little bit and not letting them finish their point before responding
Yeah.
to it. Because when Kevin was talking, I feel like Kev was trying to give his perspective, just like he just gave his, but he was ready to, like, oh, well, what was it? And he was like, well, you could have let him. I feel like let him finish, then ask that question. So he was being he was jumping the gun a little too fast for me when it came to. It felt like he was there to argue and not really listen, as well as because like,
Yeah.
they had to have a conversation, but it felt like he was coming from a defensive standpoint a little bit.
Yeah. I got you. And I think I don't know if he was like I know what you're saying when you say you feel like he was kind of there to argue. I think he was there to. I think he just so convinced of what his point of view is. You feel what I'm saying? And then to where it's like I'm trying to get the other video, but he's trying to. I think he like I say he comprehend what they were saying, but his point of view, as it seemed like, is more so. It's all for your benefit, or it's all, you know what I mean, God doing this, you know what I'm saying, doing this or allowing this or whatever for your benefit. You feel what I'm saying, to make you stronger. And as you see, like Kev on stage was like, when on NLE Chopper asked me, say, did you feel like God had you? You feel me? He was like, no. He said, no, I don't think he did. You feel what I'm saying? So, and that's why he asked him also, like, so what about, you felt like that then, what about now? He said, no, I'm not sure he did. You feel me? So they looking at certain situations like, they was alone, and he's basically saying that, no, you wasn't alone, you know what I mean? This is all for your good. You feel what I'm saying? And I get where he coming from on that, but he's like I said, at that time, he's not really hearing. I don't think he was really hearing them. I don't know, you know what I mean? And that could be something where, like, later on down the line, down in the video, they told him, like, basically keep living. You feel what I'm saying? And that's not to say they don't believe like that, but they just maybe they just in a different place in their journey. You get what I'm saying? To where this shit ain't like, because if you think about it, even what he said, Kev said, like, when I was in my younger days, he like, God got it, pray this away, pray this and that away. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, he's 42 now. He said that ain't working. He looking at that as young thinking. You feel what I'm saying? If you catch it, if you heard what he said, he's pretty much looking at that as you thinking like this because you're this age. Keep living. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but in a way, I think the young brother is like, me personally, I think he's on the right, he's headed in the right direction. You feel what I'm saying? Like he's looking at it as the glass is half full versus half empty, if that makes sense. Y'all got me?
Yeah, I think he definitely was coming from a hands-on, like you could tell he been working on his personal relationship with the Most High, right? Or what he calls source. But I just feel like what you was just saying, Sack, like that's why I feel like the miscommunication came in with them. You know what I'm saying? Like pertaining to NLE Chopper personally, like Bam said, he definitely was a little defensive. He act like he needed to be received. He wanted to be received a certain kind of way, so he wasn't really letting up. Almost like he needed to have that final say so and all that. And that's the I would say the young part of him, like his young his early stages on his journey, to where it's kind of like it can go to your head sometimes when you think you got all the answers. But I do know if he would have understood they was coming from a religious back, like I'm telling you, like that place where we all experienced before, like when you praying and it's all vagueness, and you know the God you praying to is a vague spirit somewhere and all of that. I think when they were speaking, that's what they was referring to. Like they still in that space where it's like, you know, sometimes I pray and I'm not sure if my prayer is being answered, or you going through and you wonder, God, where is you? That means y'all still in a certain space where the way y'all even who you think God is, what you think, how you pray, and all of that. He's coming from a place where it's a little more of a spiritual journey, hands-on, you know, he's coming from a more place of manifestation and willing things to happen instead of just sending prayers out that you wondering whether he heard them or not. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, if he like both of y'all said, if he would have heard, he would have understood. He's mature, but he wasn't mature enough to see that they was in a different space, like where they was coming from. And also the fact that he needed to be heard so much to where he wouldn't stop, you know what I'm saying, where he needed to have that last word. I think that just made it even more challenging to have that conversation successfully, certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that. Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Let me see. I had to go.
In Christianity,
I had to do exactly what I had to do exactly what I didn't want to do. Is forget the clip. You feel me? Is get that little short clip, because there was some good stuff leading up to that. But you know, being that we're here right now, we're just gonna play that little short clip. All right, Bam, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. I know it's kind of frustrating, like I say, where everything can't really engage how we want to, but so I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna let you take the floor, Bam, give your response first, and then being that you can't hear Major, we'll pick, you know what I'm saying, we'll go after you.
Sounds good.
All right.
in Christianity, it's a thing where people praise the Son more than they praise the Father.
I can't hear the video now.
And that's what I don't like. Okay. Because
just
if we are man made in a likeness, Jesus is our brother.
Right tonight.
You get what I'm saying? Why would I drop down and praise my brother instead of praising my father? And that goes back to honoring your parents.
I just gotta say something.
I'm gonna have to pick you back off y'all then, because I can't hear it.
Bible, I listen to the Bible. I receive from source straight.
I would say read it again.
Sir.
Let me ask you a question.
I feel like I know this already.
In Christianity.
All right. So that was the clip of him talking about on the Jesus thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like I recognize that clip. That's the viral clip.
Yeah, that was the viral clip. Major, you wanna you was able to hear it?
Yeah, I heard it.
All right. Who want to go first? Since we all familiar with that, who want to go first?
Go ahead, Bam.
Oh, excuse me. I mean, I'll say this. Oh, is he talking?
Nah.
I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and just say, when I first saw this clip, I kind of felt like, they weren't really acknowledging what he was saying when he said what he said about, Jesus being our brother, which, because there are believers of, Christianity who do believe that same thing. I'm not really sure which branch it is, but I do know that that is a thing for sure. Because I've heard many Christians say that.
He froze.
Yeah, he froze on my end too.
Yeah, he froze.
All
right.
I'm frozen.
You not now. So I don't know what you said the last 15 seconds.
Well, I just said, what he said in that clip, it is a real thing. Like, there are plenty of people who do believe exactly what he said. And I get why maybe they responded the way they did now after seeing, more of the interview after that. Because at first I was reacting to just that clip like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And my reaction was I was kind of a little annoyed with Kirk Franklin and Kev on stage being, they the two people I know the most as the churchgoers and the Christians. So that to me, they should know that what he said is a belief system, and it's part of a religion, or the same religion, different way of looking at it. And I do still and I still feel like they should have acknowledged that. I ain't gonna lie, that has not changed for me. Just because I get why they came at him a little, the way they did, I still feel like it was due to. I feel like they still should have let him know, hey, to your credit, that is true to some people. There are people who believe that exact thing within Christianity. I still feel that way about it, and I still don't really care for Johnathon Majors' response to what he said. Because if you're gonna give an answer like that, like, okay, have you read it? Read it again. Well, where does he start if you want him to learn something? Because clearly you're trying to teach him a lesson, right? Which is fine. I'm okay with you wanting to teach him something. There's nothing wrong with that. But where does he start? Because if you're just telling him read it again, that can mean I can start in Genesis and I might not even remember what I'm looking for at that point by the time I get through the whole book. Like, so where exactly should he have started? Should have been stated. And again, I don't see nothing wrong with what he said, but that the answers given, I feel like could have been a little more of more direct and a little more pointed in the right direction if you were trying to, steer this young man.
Major.
Yeah, I feel the same way as far as I do think that was very dismissive, like to be like just refer him to the reading his Bible, because he was hitting a specific point. He was making a point. He was kind of addressing something when he spoke about Jesus being worshipped and all that, and that should have been addressed. But I think that go back to them not even knowing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a little paradoxical because the name of the show got kings in it or something like that. They call themselves kings.
Den of Kings. Den of Kings.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a little paradoxical to not know where he's coming from when y'all calling yourself kings on this show. You see what I'm saying? Or, that's the name of the show. So they greeting each other with king. So to not understand that, I think, you know, it's the difference between the milk and the meat, brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying as far as a miscommunication. You know, like, you know, he coming from a place where, I mean, I think for either they was being fearful and didn't want to really speak on, you know what I'm saying, some level of perspective that they really do understand that he was coming from, or they still in their religious stage. They still on the milk, where that sounds like what they call it, blasphemy to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't get that Jesus said himself, you can do even greater works than I have done. You know what I'm saying? They don't get things like that he said himself. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said, why thou callest me good, when the disciple was running up behind him and saying, how can I be like you? How can I have some, you know, good master, call him good master, Jesus. And Jesus said, why thou callest me good? You know, no one good but God. So they don't, that's what I'm saying, the difference between the milk and the meat. And so Chopper is coming from more, in my I do think he needed to listen more and be more humble and just allow the opportunities for him to speak to come more naturally. And he's still growing in that area, even where he is maturing. But I think that they don't even understand that it's the milk is like you just praying. You know, they kept talking about praying things away. That they talking about literally doing this and sort of like just, you know, telling God what they want or whatever their situation is, etc. But the meat, the part where it's metaphorically talking about taking up your own cross or working out your own salvation, that's when you become mature and you have to work out your own salvation, meaning you have to speak to the mountains. You have to learn how to do things, you know, you have to speak to the waters. You have to learn how to put your feet, like he said, yeah, you power over the scorpion and the serpent and all that. You know, you have to learn how to do them things for yourself. And Jesus even told the disciples that on the boat when they panicked during the storm, and he said, you could have calmed that storm. So that's them two different levels of when you talk about the Bible and when you speak about Christianity, like what the Bible is teaching, and it's a scripture that talk about weaning the babes off the mother's breast, and then that means it's a point where after the cub grows up, he runs around with the adult lions. At a certain point, he has to go out and hunt for himself. So that's what NLE Chopper coming from. He coming from a place of grounding himself and having that direct contact.
Yeah.
And they coming from a place of, you know, from church, so to speak, you know, not realizing, I mean, not coming to grips with that the church is in us. We are the, you know, as far as the body, his Christ body, you know what I'm saying, is the kingdom. That is the church. They still going to church. See the difference? Yeah. So that's why I think like it was a little bit of, it was definitely some immaturity on both ends. And like you said earlier, it must have had been, it could have been something else with Johnathon outside of that little show that caused him to be a little, because he just told him, the man said, why is y'all praying to Jesus? Jesus said, pray like this, our Father. But they couldn't address that. They just had to make him, Johnathon, in that scenario, chose to make him feel like you need to reread your Bible. But so I think it was immaturity on both ends and also miscommunication. Some miscommunication that could have, if there was better understood what was going on and he better understood what he was dealing with. And I think because NLE Chopper still is very young, which don't have 1,000%. It's not 1,000% predicated on your age, but I think in his journey, his level of journey that he on, he wasn't able to see that, and he got more, you know, he just turned a little more.
His heart in the right space. I think his heart in the right place. You feel me? I definitely think NLE heart is in the right place. I'm I say like I agree with both of y'all. What both of y'all said, so it ain't really much for me to say. But I think also I do think like I feel like being say I've been in a situation where talking about certain things where someone told me, you know, I gave them some information and they, you know, they combated it, you know what I mean? They rebutted it. And then, you know, with their feelings or whatever. And then I came back and then they pretty much told me, you don't get what you're saying. You know, you need to read, you know what I'm saying? Read it again. And then when you ask them, be like, well, read well. Or just read, you need to read it again. You're not, so that makes me feel like you don't even know. You feel what I'm saying? Like, right. Okay, exactly. Well, and that's why I was like, okay, my thing is too, being that y'all said what y'all said with Jonathan, read it again. At least tell me where I'm wrong. You ain't even tell me why I needed to read it again. You ain't even, you feel what I'm saying? Not only didn't say where I should go looking for the answer, you feel me? You ain't tell me what I'm looking for. You never said, right. You just basically said what Jit probably heard was, shut up, you too young. That's probably what he heard, you feel me? Because he just kind of dismissed him off. You know, man, even in the script, you know, because of his age, but also, like you say, goes back to there clearly was, I think there, you know, there was some tension going into this. You feel what I'm saying? It was some tension between those two possibly going into this. But yeah, he didn't even sit there and say like, okay, read it again, because you feel what I'm saying? There was nothing after that. He looked at him, read it again. That was it. And I think that's where Kirk should have came in, because that just pretty much made Jit look like it's almost like they made him like, you a damn fool, you stupid. You feel what I'm saying? It came off like you talking crazy. When
you don't know no scripture.
Yeah, you don't know no scripture. When you, let's be real. This, like I say, and the reason he's saying that he has every right to say that because they're called Trinitarians. You feel what I'm saying? And they're not. And see, that's also the disconnect there too, because as a Trinitarian, we know they not, because okay, there was a clip in there where he was like, they put people put too much between you and God. You feel what I'm saying? Too many hurdles between you and God. But as a Trinitarian, and he was speaking, I think he was speaking of Christ. And mixed up in that, he was speaking like Christ, the church, whatever rituals, you feel me, you got going on. I think that's what he was insinuating. He didn't make it clear, but I could be wrong. But I feel like the reason they might not have seen it like Kev on stage, I don't know, like Kev on stage. I know Kev on stage, I know Ray J, I know Johnathon Majors, I know Kirk. I didn't know who the other cat was. I don't know. You feel me? But he was they were like pretty much just dismissed it. And when not addressing that, there is, like you say, there is people who believe that, like, they're called Trinitarians, but they wouldn't have understood that, because, and they would look at that as blasphemy probably, because what we do know, they view Jesus as God. You feel what I'm saying? So when he's saying y'all praise Jesus more than y'all praise God, that's what he's not wrong. You feel me? From his vantage point, but their vantage point, no, we're not. Possibly some of their vantage point, they're like, no, we're not. Jesus is God. So you get what I'm saying? That's some of the disconnect too. But my thing going back to Kirk and probably Kev on stage. I'm not sure how much of a believer he is and how studied he is, but we all know that is like Ben say, that is a sect in Christianity. You feel me? That actually believe that he is God. You feel what I'm saying? So that being said, that's not a wrong statement. It might have been, I can't even say said the wrong way, but from his vantage point, like, that's what he's seeing. If he looking at it like, okay, Jesus ain't God, why y'all worshiping him? And then he could possibly ran across that scripture that says, you know, why like you say, don't praise me, praise he who sent me. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that is a later, and let's be, according to history, that is a later belief that Jesus is God thing. That is a later belief. Even in the scriptures, the main belief was that he was the son of God. You feel what I'm saying? This came on later down the line. This evolved to something later down the line. You feel me? as far as this Trinitarian doctrine, that came later down the line, because like I say, we was on like you say, they were pretty much on what is it, monotheism. They were monotheism. That's one God. You feel me? All this Trinity stuff is later down the line. And first thing people gonna say is, you just don't understand. Here we go. We're going back to it. You don't understand the book. You need to read it again. You don't understand the Trinity. You get what I'm saying? That's what people say. No, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a later belief, and he wasn't wrong. I think Kirk Franklin, I think he wasn't finna go there, because let's be real, he's a Christian gospel musician. That's what banner he fly under. Now, whether he believe that shit or not, still, that's another conversation. You feel me? But that's his fan base. Kirk wasn't finna divide his fan base up. You feel me? He has people who believe that Trinitarian doctrine, and he had people who believe in oneness, just like pretty much what NLE Chopper was putting forth. But both of those are Kirk's fan base. You feel what I'm saying? So I definitely understand. I'm gonna say understand, but I comprehend why he didn't do that. You feel me? But I think, to be fair, they should have at least addressed, like, all right, to be fair, we disagree. But to be fair, this brother, there is sects in Christianity that believe that. He not pulling this shit out of thin air. You did? Mm-hmm. Bam?
Yo.
You got anything else?
Yeah, I mean, really, you pretty much hit it on the head, man, on the nail on the coffin with that, man. Like, I just feel like if you wanted to lead the young man, show him the path then. Like, point him in the right direction. If you're gonna say something like read it or whatever, it don't even matter whether they say read it or
tell him where he wrong at. At least address where he wrong.
Well, here's the problem. They couldn't tell him where he was wrong. They could have just told him, maybe, they could have at least just said, hey, maybe look at it from a different perspective. Because he's not wrong in terms of this being a thing. Like you said, this was a thing way before he said it, way before we were born. This was a thing thousands of years ago. Mm-hmm. What he was saying. People in the Old Testament said this same thing.
What NLE was saying is closer to let me say this. What NLE was trying to put forth to them was closer to the original thought. You feel me? Because think about it, like I said, even like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's what's kind of funny to me is how people, the same people who like you say, read it again, be the same people that pretty much just dismiss the shit. I'm like, what? I'm trying to word it right, but all in all, that was, like I said, that was the original thought, man. What he was putting forth. You feel me? They were, they didn't tell him where he was wrong. They didn't tell him how he was wrong, what to look for. I think they were just kind of pretty much fed up. By that time, they were just fed up with this little jet, bro. They was kind of fed up.
You know what? And I get, and I can, and I'm gonna be honest. I understand their frustrations with him to a degree.
Yeah,
I do. Based on what I've seen, like I said, from watching what I watched and what you showed, I get them being a little frustrated with, like, okay, is he really listening himself, or is he just looking to combat our points, or or
listening to respond,
or is he listening to just respond, or is he trying to somewhat passive aggressively say that y'all maybe y'all should open y'all minds and not just follow the book that your mama put in your hands, or whatever the case may be. Not saying that's exactly what he was doing, just an example. And yeah, I feel like maybe they felt a little attacked themselves, which is why, and as people, sometimes when you feel like someone, keep kind of, kind of coming at you, whether it's like in an aggressive way or even a passive aggressive way, or even in just in a sarcastic way, whatever, eventually you're gonna kind of want to, okay, you know what? Let me put this nigga in his place a little bit. maybe even humbly put him in his place.
And keep it a buck. And like I said, we got to keep it a buck, even in the scriptures. This is why I think it's so kind of shameful. I want to say shameful, but kind of sad how they didn't address it, because even in the book, they was asking, it was questions like Jesus had to ask them, shit. Well, they were like, "Who are you?" Basically, who are you? He said, "Well, who do they say I am?" They say, some say you Elijah, some say you John the Baptist, some say you the Messiah. He said, "Well, who do you say I am?" They say, "Were you the Messiah?" You feel me? But my point in saying that is they was already having these fucking discussions in real time with him. You feel what I'm saying? They was having these discussions in real time. It's nothing new. This is nothing new. But the fact that they just brushed that shit off, like, oh, he crazy. Oh, and this is what happened. Not only them, but this is what happens. You feel what I'm saying? Shit just get brushed off and you crazy. But this, when you read the scripture, you see these things taking place. Nothing new under the sun. You feel me? Nothing new under the sun. They were having these discussions with Christ. They thought they didn't even, they from talking about God. You feel me? They were saying that he's Elijah coming back, because how the Old Testament end off. They thought he was John the Baptist. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. They didn't have a clear understanding. So a lot of them didn't have a clear understanding on who he was. Granted, it was something like, say, some of the stuff was controversy that he was saying. You feel what I'm saying? It was very controversial. That's why a lot of reasons why he was held, why he was killed, because they didn't really understand what Christ was putting forth. You feel what I'm saying? They didn't understand the words that he was actually saying. They didn't understand, which has a lot of reason to do with why he was killed. And he was killed by his own people, the ones who didn't really understand. It wasn't the Romans who killed him. The Romans said, "Hey, we can't find no fault in this dude. We're gonna turn him over to y'all." It was his own people, because they didn't understand. It was already it was a lot of commotion going around. Major.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that's overall it was a lot of misunderstanding, man. And then too, I don't know if y'all heard that that one part in that interview or that episode where I think Johnathon said something to the extent of he was like, you know, in this world, or he said he was talking about in this industry and the things that he achieved, and he was like, you can't achieve the things that I've achieved thinking a certain way, or at least letting people know how you think. Did y'all hear that part?
I don't. Not off top. I don't. I heard it. I know I listened to the whole thing, but I didn't catch it.
Yeah. So remember, I was telling you, I was like, I don't know if they just like scared because they don't want to put their careers, you know what I'm saying, on you know, on at risk. Yeah, because you know, he flat out said something to the extent of, in that line of work, you got to be mindful of letting even people know how you think for real. You know what I'm saying? So
who said that? Who said that? Johnathon?
Yeah, Johnathon said that.
So he said, you know, I'm saying it so Bam can hear. So he basically said, like, in his industry, you got to be mindful on letting people know how you think.
Yeah, he was like, how you thinking, and letting people know how you really think. So pretty much, like, you know, he was talking about that. That's why I was telling you, like, I didn't know if they was like, some of them was like just scared, you know what I'm saying, or fearful to say how much they really related to the young man, or, you know, I think the fact that NLE kind of did get a little forceful, you know what I'm saying, he got real forceful. You know, he was coming from a good place, but he was kind of forcing it on him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that deterred the they was being dismissive, but that memo, we all just agreed after watching it, we understood how they got a certain way. Yeah. But initially, it was still just a conversation.
Yeah.
And I think they was kind of even getting to that point of relating to him, they lost track of even thinking like that, because at a certain point, he just kept getting offensive and was like, he wanted to get his message across.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when, like you said, other people were speaking, he wasn't even trying to let them speak. Like, It was like he wasn't trying to understand no more. He like this, you know, he got on that type of time. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out to say it's kind of like a toss up between miscommunication and other things behind the scenes. Yeah.
I think it was some miscommunication, and I don't know if he was really trying to be offensive. I don't think he was trying to be offensive. I think they took it that way, but I think it was just his zeal. He don't hit a phase where his zeal is so, you know, saying his on what he's learned and where he at with it. And I done been there to where you just like, you know what I'm saying, like you gotta know, like you think you got it. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's and it's a good thing because it's a good thing, a zeal to be having about the Most High. And talking about the Most High and considering things of the Most High and what he's telling you. So it's a good thing, but sometimes that zeal, and I done been there, it comes off rude as fuck. It comes off as you being dismissive. Because they're the same way he looking at them, they looking at him the same damn way. And then not to mention they, you know, because they at the top of the conversation, they brought his age up into it. When Kirk was like, how old are you? And not to mention, and that probably went to his head too. Because let's be real, it's not a lot of 22-year-olds that's really talking or trying to vibe down like that. You feel me? Or be in the conversations like this. We're seeing more and more of it. All praises to the Most High, but it's not a lot. You feel what I'm saying? That's actually 22.
Hey, you remember I told you that, Sack. I'm like, man, I had to work on being more you know, because when you first get going, you do think you got it all, especially if the people you dialoguing with don't get it. Oh, you think you Jesus in the circle now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think he did have a little bit, he got some maturing to do in that area. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And I think that kind of deterred the whole, you know what I'm saying?
And
it just deterred the whole, I think it deterred everything at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, you good. Bam.
No, listen, I think that deterred the whole direction.
Yes, sir.
The conversation.
It's just hard to like. What was he basically alluding to? Because
keep them.
Hold on.
I really went from. Oh, he's still going. Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, it's lagging.
Keep them from having bad blood. Able to get past. You know what I'm saying? Just sharing their perspectives. They weren't able to do that. So I think, you know, it was some immaturity. And I think on their end, as far as the older guys, because even and I'm gonna pass my even what's his name? That was your boy Ray J Sack, but he kind of like he tried to understand Chopper and give him his, you know what I'm saying, like respect. They always giving him his respect in the dodo initially. They was like telling him, man, you young, you sharp, you know, but that wasn't enough for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that wasn't enough for him. Like, I think that's what I'm saying. I think after he kept like trying to be the wisest one in the circle, it turned into them now like that's trying to put him in this kind of like sit him down a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just kind of like because even Ray J is like, man, I get the message you're trying to give out to us. I get it. Like, I receive that. I don't know if y'all remember initially, Ray J was like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I hear what you throwing out there. Woo woo. So that's why I told you I don't think they was totally oblivious to what he was
no
talking about.
No. They
but that's just me a little bit. Like, I don't know if they really was just some of them but Kurt and the other guys, I don't think they wanted to say what they really
But I would say they I don't think they was oblivious to it. I think they just didn't respond to what we're talking about specifically for different reasons. It might have been, and be real with you, I'm gonna be, to be honest with you, Bam, I hope you're listening. But to be honest with you, I think a lot of some of it too, Kurt might have been like, look, if we go down this road, I think he wasn't finna respond anyways, because like, I ain't finna split my goddamn money up. I ain't finna jeopardize my damn job. You feel me? But they probably like, look, if we go there, because the conversation was about what mental health. I think that's what it was really about. You feel me? This just kind of segued to this. But I think they didn't want to go down. Kurt was probably like, I ain't finna go down this fucking road. because that's a 4-hour conversation right there. Talking about basically the divinity or the place of Christ. You feel that's a whole that would have took the rest of the goddamn and Jit seemed like he was ready to go. Jit was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Talking about NLE, he was ready. He was ready to go.
See, I feel like that was what he came into that space ready to do. I think he wanted to take it. I think he already had his mindset that he wanted to take it there.
Okay,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I'm not sure who started that. Turned it into.
So and it makes even more sense now. So we finna close it out because it's kind of this real. It's all I'm surprised we able to do this right. We're doing right now and making it work. But
I gotta say I'm pretty impressed at how good we are doing considering with the disconnects going on.
Because
this is really hard.
You can't hear major lagging on my end. You feel me? I'm pretty sure we doing the same thing on his end. But we making it work. But I saw
the grace of the Most High.
Yay! But I did see a clip. I saw a clip of NLE
Chopper. I got 4%.
I'm gonna play it at the
end. For some reason, I've been hearing both of y'all clear.
Yeah, I'm at 5% right now anyway. So, but
all right,
but we can get through this.
Wrap it up. Yeah, we finna wrap it up.
Let me ask
Major,
real quick
Major, you froze on me.
Out. Hey, bam.
He can't hear you.
Too. Nah, he froze on me too.
I can't hear you.
Like this, right? If you look at it, because I want to put this out for the episode.
And then, not to mention, there's times where I can't hear the videos you playing.
Yeah. Hold on. Say it again. Say it again, Major. Yeah, that ain't working.
What about now?
Just go ahead and talk.
Can you hear me now?
Somewhat.
You say you can't?
Somewhat. Go ahead. I hear you talking, but it's kind of sketchy.
What about now?
Yeah, you good. All right, he froze. He froze. All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up, man. Again, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, fellas, because it's bad. Yeah. All right. Hey, man. Yeah, I'm finna go ahead and salute y'all out. I'm finna remove y'all, and I'm gonna wrap it up.
You're not playing the video no more? Or you gonna just go ahead and skip all that? We're gonna save it for another time.
Yeah, I'm gonna just it's too bad.
I know we're doing this in parts.
Yeah. I'm gonna just wrap it up for today.
Yes, it's been a very unfortunate video, but hey, y'all bear with us, man. We really, these are technical difficulties that are just out of our control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's saying we both froze on his end. So all right, bro. Like I said, I'll holler at you. I'm gonna just get y'all the screen.
Yeah, I just saw the text too.
All right. But all right, bro. I'll wrap it up, man.
All right. Hey, shit, we gonna run it back though. So
yeah, for sure. All right, brother.
Love.
Later. All right, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, kings and queens, and everything in between. We appreciate y'all for watching. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, y'all could benefit from this, what y'all was able to see here and all that. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate my man Majors. Appreciate Major. Appreciate RIP Bam Bam for coming through, dropping their knowledge and wisdom, understanding on the situation and all that. There again, sorry for the technical difficulties. like, comment, subscribe to both channels. Links will be in the description or in the title. And yeah, peace. Actually, hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Talk. I'm gonna let you get your last thought in. 'Cause I just wrapped it up. But go ahead. Say what your last thought, your closing thought.
No, I'm just saying. Just closing thoughts for the viewers, man. If y'all really know, nobody knows somebody that's not a Christian like a Christian, right? As far as being different, secular,
Yeah, bro.
or something like
it's skipping
like that. And I think they had to know NLE's Chopper stand so forth. So I feel like they had to know what they was dealing with when they invited him on the show.
Definitely.
It ain't like they thought he was a Christian or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they knew. So it was a, and I've been noticing, like, even in the other videos, like on the other interviews, because Kirk Franklin seems to, I thought it was, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that whole podcast was Kirk Franklin and they like a couple other ones. Like I thought Johnathon Majors was a regular. Because I wasn't familiar with the podcast. You feel me? Like I've seen clip thumbnails of it and all that, but it seemed like they definitely strategically picking all the different walks of life. And he said he was selected. NLE was selected for a reason. You know what I mean? He was definitely selected for a reason. Probably to bring the ratings, and they knew he was gonna say something controversial.
Come on now, you had to.
Because a lot of us know NLE different.
Kirk Franklin, you think about it. You already know this. And this Kirk Franklin, so you know he looking into the artist that he gonna invite on his show. He gonna look into him. He was already familiar with. He knew what was going on. That's why I said they wanted him to. It was something to it what was going on, but I think again the way they was communicating just deterred the whole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thing. I think Kirk definitely wanted him to get it out. Kirk wanted him to get it out. He just didn't want he didn't want them clashing though. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kirk double back with something with NLE.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Because if Kirk, I think Kirk had an agenda. You feel me? Like I say, we're gonna have to have that on probably another episode or whatever, another conversation. But go ahead, in closing, drop your YouTube, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Not why. Hopefully you ain't skipping too bad, but go ahead and drop your YouTube so everybody can have that.
Man, I got a basement built YouTube called Millionaires, but heirs is an HEIRS, like heirs to the throne. Millionaires. You know what I'm saying? LOMT, Lord of Many Treasures, man. Just check it out, right? It's some backyard in the car recordings, but it's some real meat in there if you pay attention to the videos, man. Subscribe, like, and comment. You know what I mean? You kind of get to a lot of that conversation, right, that they was having at that table.
Yes, sir. And again, we appreciate everybody for sliding through, for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us if you agree. If you disagree, we want to know. You feel me? Hey, this is a place where this is an environment that I'm trying to create where that, in a nutshell, that embraces and magnifies the Creator, the Most High. You feel me? Like, look, for the fucking Christians welcome, Muslims welcome. You feel what I'm saying? Spiritual welcome. Look, holla at us, man. You feel me? Like, holla at us, because I feel like at the end of the day, source is the Creator. Creator is the Most High. You feel what I'm saying? Do I believe that Jesus is God? Absolutely not. Let me make that clear. Do I believe Jesus, Yeshua, Yahushua is God? Is the Most High? Absolutely not. But I do understand and comprehend how some people come up to those conclusions. But it's at the same time, just like NLE, You feel me? He kind of want that in return. I'm assuming. You feel what I'm saying? Not to say you agree, but this is a place where we can come forth and and drop our understanding judgment free. You feel what I'm saying? Because like I say, it's a journey that we're all on the journey, that we're all with the Most High, and He has Most High is with us on the journey. You feel what I'm saying? As individuals, you know what I mean? We have people that come into your life that cross your path for reasons and all that. We don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know, may not know what the reason is, but it was definitely, I feel like everything happens for a reason. A lot of times I don't like what's happening, but I understand there's a reason for it. I mean, I know the reason, but I understand there's a reason for it. You feel me? So that being said, I am Sackcloth, aka Out the Pit. This is Major, the co-host to this, and my boy Bam Bam, my brother Bam Bam, that slid out. You feel me? And we appreciate everybody again. Peace.
Peace.